Yes, hello, and welcome to my theories again. Well, I'm your theorist Birgir Eilsson, and these are my theories. Today's theory is, I'm not sure it's going to be one or two, but we'll start with this one. It's a big theory, and it's one of the big ones that people don't really know about. Then that's called the Stonepeople theory. And yeah, I'll tell you about it. The Stonepeople theory. Many years ago, before everything you know from life right now, and before like we as people and Homo sapiens, Neanderthal, Homo sapiens, and all that became, there was the stone people. And the stone people were like the people had, like the stone people were here before we as people today know who we are. Which tells us also the earth is much older than it's said to be. Like it's been millions of generations of different kind of people roaming around. And before us there was the stone people. And the stone people theory will tell you how we as humans today, we live in all those concrete jungles and stone built houses. Like we used to live in a lot of stone built houses, stone built walls, stone built roads and everything. We use stone for a lot. And that was only possible because of the stone people, what they did before. They were a great civilization of stone people. Their skin was not organic like ours. They were like stoned, skinned. So yeah, they were hard surfaced rock people. And to touch was like touching a stone or a brick, if you say. And people say there was a lot of different stone people. I mean, there was brick people, there was regular stone people, there was like beach stone sand people, and then there was high rock mountain stone people and all that kind of stone people. And they built a great civilization here. A great civilization with like skyscrapers made out of materials that don't really exist today. It was all kind of, they didn't build things out of stone. They were the stone then. And materials from nature back then was not stone. There was a lot of different materials that I can't remember exactly the name of. Like there was a lot of, all kinds of stuff. And they built these huge skyscraping futuristic cities out of, well, there was a lot of glass buildings. They had that. And just metals, all kinds of metals. And they overpopulated this earth. They overpopulated everything. They overbuilt, they overproduced. And over the years and decades, the stone people started suffocating the earth, started to kill the earth. Like many of us think today that we are doing, that we are killing the earth with all our pollution. But they actually did it. They overbuilt, they overpopulated every place. And the stone people weren't evil per se. They started noticing it, like in the nature, and they started noticing the change of the earth. And they figured they had wronged the earth. The stone people had like overbuilt things, they overstepped because they were like quite clever. They were brilliant people. Like much more brilliant that we, like they had advanced much further than we have advanced at this stage. Like we are still trying to reach that stage of pure civilization and just pure blissfulness and happiness of living and just building and no poverty and anything. But they did eventually overpopulate things, like I said, and overcrowded a lot of stuff. So in their efforts to save the earth, they made the greatest sacrifice as a species can do. And what is that, you ask yourself? What is the greatest thing we could do as a species to save the Earth? And what we will probably have to do in order to save the Earth one day. Probably not us, but maybe the people in the far, far future. They did the unbearable thing that you do to save the future generations, to save the planet, basically. They could have maybe molded some people, or like collected people and went into interstellar traveling and stuff like that. But they didn't, because they all knew they owed the Earth to save it. So the stone people actually sacrificed themselves. Yeah, you heard me. Every inch of the stone people sacrificed themselves. They sacrificed everything. And this was all done in a completely unity. They're all united behind it. Children, old people, middle age, young adults, teenagers, everything. Knew they. Of course, older people were making a less of a sacrifice. But children were the real heroes of those eras, because they united behind this. And that's how they left the Earth filled with what? Filled with what? What element? Rised and got used a lot by us? Well, of course, there was the stones. That's how we got all this stone. That's how all the stones here got made. It's in the like all the beaches. It's on the ground, like here. You can see on your street when you walk, all the cement, all the stone, bricks, rock, every stone, rock, brick, stone material, cement we have in this world right now is because of the stone people sacrifice. And yeah, they sacrificed themselves, and everything. It was like immediate wipeout of their people, and they just fell down to the ground and got rooted to the ground, grew to the ground, blew away, and all they went to the sea and blah blah blah. You know, they went everywhere. And what happens next in the next couple of years, or not couple of years, a couple of 100 years or 1,000 years? A new evolution steps up. What evolution is that? A human evolution. Yeah. The first ape comes, stand on his hind legs, and we divide and we go like evolve into Neanderthal and Homo sapiens and Homo erectus and all the homos and all that stuff. And eventually we become human at some point. And the early civilizations started making stuff out of stone. Stone houses, mold houses like made out of earth, ground gravels. Yeah, all the stone materials you can think of. It came out of sacrifice from the stone people. And yeah, we build stone houses, we build stone walls, and of course we mix it with timber. Timber is basically an element that came before the stone. Like the stone people also used timber. Those were the timber people. Oh no, it was no timber people. But they were like wooden creatures who made that element available to the world. But that's a whole nother story, like for a different theory. The hidden wooden people that still to this day are roaming around here. Still roaming around. But I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, after that, the stone people sacrificed themselves, got us all the rocks that we needed to build a future civilization, and here we are today. We are the next people. We might just call us organic or flesh people. We are part of the evolution of what material will thrive best as a serving organism or living organism of this earth. Before they have tried stone people, the wooden people, there's been like materialistic watery people, there have been like lava people. But the stone people theory is this. And the reason why that's the biggest theory is because they made this biggest sacrifice. The other type of people didn't make this big of a sacrifice. They either just died out or they just waited out and went into hiding, like the hidden wood people. But that's why we have to think about every stone we turn, every stone we make, every cement stuff we're doing. That there's a big sacrifice behind it, and we should be grateful for it. Like, don't just walk on the street. Think of the street you're walking and why it's possible that you're walking on it. Why is it possible? Because of the stone people sacrifice. So, if they wouldn't have made that sacrifice, they would have overpopulated and just overbuilt everything and probably, ruined the earth, or at least ruined themselves. They started suffocating and eventually a new species would arrive, but we wouldn't be working on this great element that we have in stone. Stone, rock, gravel, cement. Of course, we made the cement out of, and clay and all that stuff we made out of originally a rock-based materials. So it's a God's gift from the stone people. And I cannot go a day without thinking about cement and all kinds of, even stuff tiles like you use in your bathroom and stuff like that. There's not a day that goes by I don't think about gravel and cement and rocks, and I'm just just so thankful for. I'm just so thankful for rocks. Freaking, sorry my language, cement and stone. We should be bowing and we should be praying to that. We should be praying to this element. But I got a little emotional. It's a huge passion of mine. I'm really into rocks. I like rocks. I have a rock collection actually. And no, I'm not going to share it with anyone or show anyone. It's my personal collection. And those rocks are pretty cool. And I speak to those rocks. I speak to them actually. And if you really listen and give it time and concentrate, they will speak to you back in the voice of their ancestors. And that's what the stone people theory is all about. Respect for ancestry, respect for spirits that helped us bring along this evolution. And the part we are living in now, even though you might think it's tough and it's grey to look at sometimes, I mean, we made it through because of the stone people. So that's the stone people theory. And that's one of my favorite theories because I think this is just spectacular what the stone people did. And I hope when this goes out and if somebody's listening to this, that they will take maybe a minute of the day, sit down, no distractions, just sit down, maybe look outside, or even if you are outside, look down on the ground, look at the gravel, look at the stones, look at the bricks, look at if you have mountains, look at the stones in the mountains. Because before the mountains had rocks, they were just mountains of dirt, or wood mountains, almost some kind of. So take time, appreciate rock, appreciate the stones, appreciate the cement. Because it could all have been gone. But we are lucky to have it. So that's my theory on the stone people. I think that's going to be my only theory for today, but it's a passion theory of mine, like I said, and I don't want to take your time I don't want to occupy your time too much. And yeah, hopefully you can think about the Stones and respect the Stones. Maybe listen to the Rolling Stones also. No, just kidding. I mean, you can listen to them if you want. They're pretty fine. They're pretty good. Solid foundation of a band. But yeah, music is for another podcast of mine where I talk about my music theories. I have a lot of theories on the music too, music industry in general. I have a lot of theories about that. But yeah, just so I say it one more time: respect the Stones. Like, don't throw stones like just willy nilly everywhere just for fun. Don't kick them out in the street. Respect them, pick them up, because you can't pick them up. You can't hurt them and throw them into the lake or water. That's nice for them. They like that. Maybe skip some rocks. Take the flat ones and try to skip it. They really like that. That's really nice to do. They like that. And remember, just keep on rocking. Respect the rock, the actor. Nah, I mean, you can respect him if you want. If you like him, respect him. If don't. But now I'm rambling, like I always do. But yeah, thank you for listening to my rock theory, and keep on rocking.